I've not done a video for a while, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that Temu device what I bought. You've seen another video I did about that. What we're going to do today, we're going to look at an ignition coil. I've cut one in half, so we're going to actually see what an ignition coil is made of. I'll show you the laminated core inside, well, the two cores, and then the lamination that separates the tightly wound multi-strand core versus the core that has a bit less windings. That's actually the principle on how the ignition coils work. What we'll do first though is I'm just going to fire up the machine, and I'm going to show you essentially different sort of speeds and how that affects the spark duration and the intensity. So let's have a look at the machine and we'll go through that. Set up now on the old QDB3A. Really simple really, the setup. You've got a positive, negative. I don't need really to explain that, do it? It's red and black. That's your power supply for your coil, and then you have a switched pulse width modulated signal down the yellow wire. And we've actually got it set up now to a 1 Hz frequency, but the pulse width is 0. So we'll just start to steadily increase it. But what I'll do first, I'll just insulate this because I don't particularly fancy getting an electric shock on it. Then we'll look at the coil internally and I'll explain roughly how it works, and I'll show you a wiring diagram as well. But let's get into it. So we'll start off on a frequency of just 1 Hz, which is 1 time per second. As you can see now it's happening, but we introduce the pulse width modulation, it'll start to spark. So you can hear that. It's flashing at 1 time per second. Very, very fine spark. That black line, I just heard an arc. That's actually what happens when they break these coils. You get a big massive arc down that black line. I just heard it escaping there. Let's speed it up a bit now. So we're going to adjust the frequency to set 4 Hz. You can hear it arcing there. It's arcing like buggery, that. It's totally faulty is that. You could probably see, if I turn the lights off, you'd probably see that. It's still sparking. It's sparking, no problem. 4 times per second. But it's arcing there. It's arcing. That's the big problem is that. Let's go to 10 Hz. 20 Hz even. Yeah, they're going for it now, isn't it? So why is it doing that? Why is it arcing? Well, let's look at it and then we'll look at how the ignition coil works with the lamination and stuff. These, they do tend to arc, unfortunately. Let's just disconnect the QDB because we've done our little test. They do tend to arc, unfortunately, and that's one of the things. It does still spark, no problem at all, you can see that, but that arcing there is not good. Eventually it'll just short out eventually. That's a bit of silicon. I think I took this out of the car because it was a right dodgy job. Someone had thrown it in like that. But it's a cheap copy, it's a Bosch copy. I don't think it's even a genuine one. I mean, it looks like a Bosch, but I really suspect it's a copy. I don't think it's a genuine Bosch, frankly. Well, how did it work? Well, we're going to cut this open in a minute, but let's look at the wiring diagram first, and I'll show you exactly how the ECU actually switches this thing. It's 4 o'clock, I can relax a bit now and explain this extremely shitty diagram I've done for you. So, engine ECU, coil, right? That's the coil, that's inside the coil, that's the transistor switching circuit. So you've got a 12 volt feed in, essentially. 12 volt going in. You've got a control line, which is responsible for switching the transistor, which then obviously does its business, which I'll get into in a minute. Then you've got a ground, so 12 volt ground control. So on the device we were just using, the yellow wire was our control, our red wire was power, our black was the ground. How does it work? Well, essentially you've got a transistor here. Eventually, and I'm going to go through another diagram in a minute, it will induce a secondary voltage. We always have a primary voltage, which is like a low tension voltage. We have a high voltage, don't we, which shoots down the HV line into the spark plug, and that's what ignites our mixture as it jumps across the gap. Let's look at another diagram. Let's explain Faraday's law and how it works. Right, guys and gals, this is a diagram that I don't have a red pen for, unfortunately. This is actually 12 volts, so I should write that on. So it's just a conventional battery with 12 volts. Okay, there's the ground, going to chassis ground. Now my machine is coming down this line here from the engine ECU DME, so my machine is triggering on that yellow wire a transistor inside the ignition coil, which is here. The transistor has your 12 volt there coming in, and basically you know how transistors work. If you don't, you can just, I'm not going to go through transistors, it's going to completely detract away from the subject matter at this, what type of transistor it is, etc. All you need to know is a transistor is a very fast electronic switch. That's all a transistor is, but you can look at that in your own time. So this is the primary circuit, and we know it's a primary circuit because it can connect into these windings. Now there's a lot less windings on the primary as on the high voltage secondary windings, which there's a lot more of. We'll see that when we open the coil up, the section coil, in a minute. So many turns on the secondary coil, the blue one I've put here, which goes direct to the spark plug to fire it. Well, goes direct to the output part of the coil, which then obviously is connected here. There's a lot more turns on that secondary coil compared to this black primary coil, and that forms a transformer with a large multiplication of voltage, you see. So it's a larger voltage spike applied to the spark plug. The sudden change in magnetic field from the primary, the switching off of the primary induces a current, and that current creates an extremely high voltage, and that's in the ignition coil, and that's Faraday's law essentially. That's how it works in that sense. So it's a solid state ignition coil, this, and they can produce about 40,000 volts actually from the interruption of this 12 volts sort of supply from the transistor. When we interrupt the primary, we induce in the secondary a massive voltage spike, and that's basically how a spark plug works. And there's lots of good, better videos online about this. Obviously I really should up my game, but I thought instead of drawing a spark plug, I might as well stick a spark plug in to give you a rough idea of how it works essentially. Well, here's a bit of a cross section for you, and what this cross section is the coil on plug itself. Bottom of it, or it's a bit upside down, but never mind, that is the transistor, what's inside the plug bit, what you would clip the electrical harness on in the vehicle. Then in red, we've got the primary on the outside, that's the low voltage. Then we've got around the central grey ferrite core, laminated ferrite core that is, or the little plates, what you see inside. We've got the windings of the secondary circuit, which is much finer, a lot more of them. And that's wrapped around in the blue colour, and at the end, of course, we've got the spark plug. Basic diagram, but it just reinforces the diagrams I shown a little bit earlier, just in case you didn't quite get them. So I hope that makes things a bit more clear for you if you're not used to looking at what coils are or how they work. And now you've seen my fantastic diagram, and it's 4:20. I've got a section coil at home, and I'm going to basically finish my video in at home, because I have to change our little kid's nappy in between me burgeoning YouTube career. So I did section one of these, but it was a plastic one. It was a right nightmare to do, so it's not a perfect section, but it'll reinforce everything I've just shown you on that particular diagram there, which in my opinion is, well, it's all you need, isn't it? What more do you need? There is better videos out there, but I'm being a bit demotivated at the moment. I've got no motivation. I think I've got YouTube burnout. But I just thought I'd make something I want to make for a change, and I always fancied just throwing something together, a quick 5-10 minute video. We're in the back bedroom now, and the wife will go mad if I make a mess. I've already put a mark on the table with this. So this is the coil that I sectioned, and well, it don't look right good, does it? But it's as good as I could get with an angle grinder essentially. So let's look at what we've got. It's really easy. We turn it this way, we can see it a little bit clearer. So essentially, you can see there, we've got a laminated core which separates it, but we've got a second laminated core here. So you've got, like, here is your, what we would call the primary winding. This is the sort of the low voltage side, and this is the secondary here. And you can tell it's the secondary because it's a lot finer, and essentially there's a hell of a lot more of it. You can actually look at that there. There's a huge amount more of it than the primary. The primary, as you can see, just quite big chunks of copper, whereas this one here essentially is a lot finer, so there's a lot more of it essentially. And you can see that also that this inner one is a secondary winding, this inner one here, because it's going directly to this element here, which, although it's a little bit crushed, goes to the brass element there, which is actually the thing that the spark plug actually sits in. So your spark plug is going to sit in this piece here. It's actually detachable, you see, and you can just see the shape of it. That's where your spark plug is going to go in. So we know that is definitely the secondary, because it's the primary doesn't go anywhere near it. You can see that, yeah. You can quite clearly see a little bit compared to my diagram. You've got the laminated core, then you've got the secondary, you've got the second bit, laminated core there, and the last bit is the primary. So here's the iron core. Now, it's an iron core made up of individual little sheets like this. It's probably steel, actually. I don't think it is iron in that sense. And imagine in the coil, it wouldn't be like this. The whole coil would, This is a half, so you'd have another half of this somewhere. I think I did have it, but it's kind of gone missing. But that is essentially how it looks. That's how it looks inside when it's sectioned. It just sits like that, you see. So you can quite clearly see that if you had a situation there now, whereas you've got 12 volts coming in here on this very fine outer, sorry, this very thick outer bit here. You can see individual like little dots. You've got your 12 volts there. Your transistor is then going to switch it off momentarily, not very, very many times per, thousands of times a second or whatever it is. That'll then induce in the secondary finer coil here 40,000 volts, let's say, which is then obviously going to shoot down into your spark plug, essentially, and everyone's happy kind of thing. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. It's getting harder and harder to make videos. In fact, I've just been hurried up by the wife. You have to hurry up, it's time because shopping. She could probably a kid in the background, so her and the mother-in-law, they're in the living room now. I want to do more videos, I'm going to do more, but, you know, my life's chaotic. I've got literally no time. I'm starting to write my new book, but on my case study. It's going to be a fantastic book. I've got the TikTok as well, and I've got this technical support service I've launched. If you need help with that, just email me. I'm building a website for that. But it's dead important because my YouTube's growing like hell now, so thanks for all your support. I really appreciate it. If you've got any questions or feedback about that very basic video I did, there's a lot more online where you can probably see a lot more detail. I hope you liked it. I hope it give you some feedback. You give me some feedback. I hope you liked it anyway. That's the main thing. If you have any feedback, just hit me up, email me, or just leave a message on the comments. But I'm literally rushing to go to the shop. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's Saturday. I've not done that much today. I've finished making this vid and some other stuff, but literally I'm just constantly go. I'm more busy at bloody weekends than I am actually at work. But thanks for your support anyway. Nearly at 5,000 followers, so sorry, subscribers. I get confused with TikTok. I'm at 12,000 followers on TikTok. I started it in August, so I hope my YouTube's going to go as well as my TikTok's going, basically. See you all soon anyway. Thanks very much. It means your support, by the way, means the world to me. And in my book, for the dedication page at the start of it, I have actually written all my TikTok and YouTube followers, thank you very much for your support and motivation, because I'm a bit demotivated at the moment, but it's coming back. It's coming back. I'm just tired, just working too hard. See you all soon.